Thank you so much for having us. So the questions that we're going to be asking you is not only generated by me or Dana, but it's also generated by the followers on Twitter, as well as across many platforms. A lot of these questions are clearly on a lot of investors' minds. We'd like to hear your thoughts on them. So we're going to go through a couple on the list. Number one, what is your overall vision for Faraday Future? Where do you see Faraday Future being in the next 5 years?
So Faraday Future is much more than an electric car company. Faraday Future has a vision to build a complete user ecosystem built on electric cars, transform products into the new generation, and develop new business models. So what's happening right now, it's an exciting moment. So the whole industry is transformed. The internet goes into the car, internet and software are meeting the car. Shared mobility ecosystems will come into place. So the focus will go away from the driver more to the passenger. So it will be about user experience in the car, of course, in electric cars.
It's basically, you're bringing in another whole new ecosystem to it. It's going to be more of a user experience. It's not just how the vehicle performs. It's how, it's basically a home, a phone, and your laptop all in one into one single device.
Correct. This is why we don't call it interior. We call the interior of our car third internet living space. So beside your home and your office, you have a third area, a third space where you are connected and where you can do everything which you are used to from your smart devices.
And we just got done with a test ride, and I have to say that it's definitely an experience. It's no other experience that we have seen from any other vehicle, from the comfort aspect to it, to the overall speed and power of the vehicle. The FF91, it's everything but more. It's indescribable. And what are some of the things about the FF91 that you're the most proud of?
So the FF91 will completely redefine what luxury and premium in the car industry means. And this car has a very unique positioning. Many people are asking me, why don't you come up with a more affordable version to go just right into the mass segment? But this is not how it works. If you want to sell a new product, you have to build a brand. People have to understand what you are standing about. And this is why we started at the top. If you want to build a top luxury premium brand, then you have to start at the top. You have to start with a halo product, a product everybody is talking about, many people desiring it, and almost no one can afford it. So this will define the brand. It will compete with great luxury brands like Maybach, like Bentley, like Rolls Royce. And the cool thing is it's a complete unique positioning in the segment. In this segment, there is no other electric car and less a connected car to compete with. So the FF91 will set the pace. It will build the brand. It will make people understand what Faraday is standing for. And then with the next steps, we will move down into other more volume segments in the market with more products. And the biggest differentiator is, like you said already, is the user experience in the car. Every seat is a great seat. The driver's seat is a great seat, as you may have experienced. 1,050 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 2.4 seconds, almost 400 miles of range. This is cool if you are on the driver's seat, and it really drives like a sports car. But if you move to the passenger or more the rear passenger seat, then you also have a great experience. You are connected, high-speed internet access, you have big screens, you have your whole digital ecosystem around you, and this really makes a difference.
It's from that whole aspect from the driver, and then go into the rear. Like, I want to kind of go into being a passenger in the rear end. It's one of your user interactive head of design and head of user I'm trying to say is like head of user capabilities. He brought up a great trailer, and it really brought out the whole overall sound. You felt like you were in a movie theater. You felt like you were in one of the best surround sounds you ever had. And the doors were wide open. It still felt like it was surrounding you. There was no break in sound quality whatsoever. This really immerses you into the situation. You guys have done a great job with it.
Thank you.
I'm really impressed. So we've obviously gone through the whole features of the FF91, and what really just distinguishes it across not only the electric vehicles, but the overall luxury sector. what do you think really, like, when it comes to Faraday Future? You've already talked about that, but what really is the end that distinguishes it across the whole brand from any others?
It's definitely about the user experience. So, but what we are doing is, of course, we build electric cars, but we have a complete new approach to deal with our customers, with our users. So we are a user-centric company, and this is very different from traditional car companies. A traditional car company creates a product and sells it to the customer, takes a margin, and then the customer is gone. He might come back to the workshop for some service or after-sales business. But we do a different approach. We bond our users to the brand, and we give them a user ID. They can log into the car. They can experience a lot of different experiences in the car through our app. So we create a community, and so we try to bond and to hold these users over lifetime in our product with our brand, and they will become our fans. They, to some degree, will even become shareholders of us through a very innovative model we are going to talk about later. And they will have an interest to promote the product and to promote the brand as a user community. This is a very different approach, and this sets Faraday apart.
Love that. That's awesome. So we're going to go into production. Like, what are the production capacities? What is the kind of timeline from that, from 2022, 2023, all the way to 2024? What are we potentially seeing for mass production for Faraday Future?
Now, let me cover this from a little bit wider view. When I joined the company 2 years ago, there was a great vision, there was technology, there was a great product idea, but there was no really plan to achieve this vision in smaller steps, to break down the vision into steps which can be executed. And as you know, industrialize a car, this is a big job. Yeah. It's a very complex technical product, and it's difficult to do so. So what we did is we created a very conservative business plan for the next years. If you look into the volumes, you will see in the first year we are going to sell 2,400 cars. The second year it will be around 40,000, and the third year it goes up to 100,000, which is still challenging to make this happen, but it's a realistic plan. So the production capacity we have is 10,000 units here in California in our own lead plant. And then we choose the contract manufacturing approach to scale the volumes with a partner in South Korea. The reason is, as a car company, you should own your production process. You should really understand the details. It's the only way to assure quality, stability of the process, and understand the cost implications. But scaling volumes, building plants, is very capital intensive. So you have to spend a lot of money, and it creates risk if you build new plants. And why would you do this? There's so much capacity around in the world. So we choose an approach with our lead plant in California to develop the process, to really understand it, to manage it. And then for scaling the volume in the business plan, we have a partner in an existing facility in South Korea where we just are going to implement our process to build the cars.
Yeah, and I think that's again, it distinguishes you guys differently. You guys come at it with a hybrid aspect. You don't have to just rely on yourself to be vertically integrated. You will be vertically integrated with your whole technology. You have your patents across the whole board from the top down, but you're going to rely on the partnerships that you have and the contracts with others. And you're going through South Korea, which allow you to not only obviously sell the vehicle in South Korea, but you have the ability to sell and deliver to the likes of China, Japan, across the whole Asia Pacific region, which has a huge demand for EV vehicles right now. I think that's phenomenal. And the fact that you are like refurbishing basically a large Pirelli factory in Hanford that already has the 1 million square feet for you, all you need to do is just put in the assembly and you'll be right to go. And it saves you so you don't have to spend that much CapEx to make that happen. I think that's brilliant. So we all talked about that. Can you give us a little bit more insights about the upcoming models for the FF81, the FF71, as well as the potential delivery van in the future?
Of course. So the FF91 is a flagship. This is the top halo product. Like I said before, it will define the brand, low volume, very desirable, almost not affordable for most of the people. Then when the brand is set by the FF91, the next step will be the FF81. 81 will go one segment down in an area where Tesla Model X and S are playing today. So a car will start around $70,000, $80,000. It is the same technology, it's the same platform, and it's basically a smaller version of the FF91. It's a shorter wheelbase, a little bit less luxury in the interior. The whole user experience will be scaled down a little bit according to the segment. Still leading in this new segment, but of course below the FF91. And then the third step is to really go into the volume segment. This will be a car, our FF7 one, starting around $45,000. This is a different technology. It will be a different platform because it's very cost sensitive. But it will still transport the FF brand values, yeah? Which is great driving experience, which is great in-car user experience, and excellent design.
That's great. Is any information on the delivery van at all, or are you guys still?
Yeah, and then there's a third or a fourth area of business. This might surprise you a little bit: a smart last mile delivery van, electric delivery vans. This is driven just by business opportunities. Yeah? As you know, e-commerce is exploding right now. COVID helped a lot in this area, I would say, and I think this will stay. All the logistic companies are coming under high pressure. They need sustainable cars.
All major companies today are in some form mindful of their carbon footprint and are sourcing sustainable materials. Can you speak to, is Faraday Future taking any steps in this aspect to become more carbon zero?
Of course, I think that's a very important point, and it's a very good question, because sustainability will be the new premium, or new premium means being sustainable. And a car has, let's say, two different areas of contribution. One is obviously the operations of the car, the lifetime, if it creates emissions or not. And of course, it's a zero emissions. But the production process of a car consumes a lot of energy as well. And if you really want to be sustainable, then you have to focus on this. So, and we are doing it in our production process. We are working on concepts where we can get the energy we need in the plant out of renewable energies. Of course, in the supply chain, one of the sourcing criteria is the CO2 footprint of the production of the supplied parts as well.
Absolutely. Is there any potential, obviously you can't give me a straight answer, is there any potential to partner with the likes of like Origin Materials or these other companies that are trying to give some kind of recyclable material for it to be incorporated into? Has that ever been gone through your gentleman's mind at all for the future processes?
The only thing I can say, we are always open for cooperations. Our company is very strong in building partnerships, and we are always open to talk to the right companies and building the right partnerships.
Absolutely understand. I understand you do legally. So what are some of the most important strategic partnerships that Faraday Future has, which are crucial for the rapid expansion as well as for production?
So we cooperate on technology with these partners. You saw our announcement, for example, with NVIDIA, where we do the autonomous driving systems. We have cooperations with one of the, or we are in the process of establishing a cooperation with one of the very successful OEMs in China to build our China market entry. And we have a lot of cooperations in the technology area with tech companies to just bring the products into the car here. Because one of the most important things as a company like us is that you really understand what should you do by yourself, what should you do in a partnership, and what should you buy. And this is where many companies fail. Yeah? The traditional car companies, they try to do everything by themselves, and now they are stuck into this whole system, let's say. Even some new companies, they try to do too many things by themselves, and then you lose your focus, and you're just not able to do it. It's not only a question of money, it's a question of focus, of capacity, of complexity. And we have a very clear strategy here. Whatever differentiates us, and these are two main areas, the propulsion system and all this digital in-car user experience, is the smart part of the car. This we do by ourselves. Technology is developed here. The production process is developed. It's protected by IP. Of course, we get components from others. And then areas which are not really, which are commodities where we don't differentiate, we use tier one suppliers. And to develop more complex systems, where we use partnerships whenever appropriate, for example, NVIDIA for the autonomous driving system here and others.
Yeah, there's a lot of great strategic partnerships that you guys have generated, and it's going to help you become successful. So very happy to see that, especially when you're trying to focus on the now and the future of Faraday. So I absolutely love that. So obviously, very big news. Today, you guys officially got your approval for the business combination via the SPAC, PSAC. You're currently looking at the stock price. What is the most intriguing aspect of the opportunity of going through a SPAC, as well as do you believe that the deal values Faraday Future fairly?
So let me go back a little bit for 2 years when I joined here. So the company has not been in a very good situation back then. As you know, we had a lot of restructuring to do. We built a new team here of people who are more focused on execution. And then we worked on the governance. So all the things which made it a little bit difficult in the past to be investable here were removed, and we made the company investable. Then we had been in talks with investors just to private equity rounds here, but then COVID hit, and this changed the whole environment. People were not any longer prepared really to do long-term investments into a technology, into a company, into an industry where the return might be somewhere in the future. But at the same time, we have been a little bit lucky that the SPAC, let's call it trend or hype or whatever happened. If I'm very open, 2 years ago, if you ask me what is a SPAC, I would not give you an answer because I just did not know. I'm an engineer. But then, you know, Nicola and others did this kind. If you look at it from really from a neutral perspective, then it's a great opportunity for investors and for companies, because what it does is it basically protects investors. It reduces the potential downside, the risk a lot, and it gives company with substance. You need substance, but companies with substance a chance to get funded and to get listed at public at the same time. And of course, you hear many times the argument, why do you do this? You could stay private and you are not so much under supervision and everything. I see this completely the other way around. Yeah? Being a listed company, being public, creates obligations. And this means you have to sharpen your mind. You have to be very clear what you are doing. You have to be responsible. You have to under-promise and over-deliver. And this is something which creates a lot of discipline in the team and in the company. And this is why I really like this idea. So for us, it's great. We get the last piece, which is the capital to bring this kind of production and to execute our business plan. I said before, the business plan is very conservative, so I'm absolutely confident we can do this. And on the other hand, it forces us, it drives us into delivery and into being very, very reliable.
Absolutely. And that's why, like me and Dana, we love SPACs because it allows, like you said, it allows investors to potentially get in on the ground floor of a company and actually grow with them. You'll be able to look into an investor presentation of a company and get to look into the inner workings of them. And you can choose yourself whether you believe in them or not. You can become a lot more intimate with the company. So that's why I love that. And we saw it with Faraday Future and many other companies with the investor presentation. You got to learn the new restructuring, look at the leadership, look at what the plans are for the future. And that's why I love SPACs. I'll give my own kind of viewpoint on the valuation for Faraday Future. I think the valuation, I think it's smart that it's not so crazy high. It allows you to be able to grow overall. It's not going to, people won't be pushing you and saying, you're overvalued. No, you're going to be able to grow with the new products from the FF91 Futurist to the FF81, FF71. You're going to be able to grow overall, and you're going to grow in value. So I think that value, that's for the investors to choose. And as you grow and as you execute, that's where Faraday Future will increase in value. So that I'll answer that. Can you speak on your relationship with the founder and his existing role in the company?
Of course, happy to do so. So I know Yueting Jia since 5 years or something, 5 or 6 years. And as you know, before I joined Faraday, after leaving BMW, I founded my own electric car company out of China. It was Byton. And since his first days, I was in contact with him. I met him here, I think, for the first time, it was in Hong Kong. And we created a relationship from that day. And it was interesting because the visions and the view how this industry will develop and how the products and business models will develop, we agreed from the first day very much on the direction. He is coming more from the internet and technology side. I'm coming more from the car side. But we had always a common view where this will go. And the idea of Byton was pretty much the same to some degree like Faraday. Then we have been in contact all the time. Then Byton failed. I had to leave Byton at the beginning of 2019. And of course, Faraday was always, let's say, in my focus or on my mind. And at the same time, he decided that he wanted to concentrate inside the company more on the user experience and the product, and that he wanted someone who to run the business here, yeah? to really run the company, more focus on execution, yeah? Because the foundation was let now, it was about execution, bringing a car into production. And he felt that I might be the right guy for it, and I was very happy that we agreed on something, that I got this chance to join the company as a global CEO here, because I really feel that this piece of executing, bringing a product into production and scaling the business, which I was doing in the past, that this might have been the missing part. So we are a perfect team, and we are very happy to work together, and I'm very happy that he is in the company, he's taking care of the product and the users, and bringing in all his experience from the past of technology and internet-based companies.
And I absolutely agree. I think that you coming from the engineer and automobile sector, and him coming from kind of the electric, the digital aspect, and coming into one, it really meshes well. You guys are a good force. You're hand in hand working together to truly create something revolutionary. Speed is phenomenal. I'll tell you, the vehicle performs amazingly. In the same manner, the user experience is just on the exact same level. So I think that you guys really hit a home run with FF91. You're making a statement that you're bringing your experience as well as the leadership of experience in the automobile industry, and you're coming into that digital aspect that YT has provided in his past, and such a revolutionary mind coming to one, and it's really quite something special. Last question. What do you believe are the keys for Faraday Future to be successful in the near future?
The key to be successful is, of course, we have to do our work. Yeah, of course, we have to get the suppliers back now. We have to scale up the team a little bit. So we have to do our work and have to mitigate all the risks and deliver. But from a higher perspective, the key of our success is that we stay down to earth. That we, and this is my worst ethics as a German engineer, that we under-promise and over-deliver. Yeah? This is for me the base. You always can have a vision. You need a direction where you are heading to. You have to have an idea what kind of company you want to have in 10 years from now. This is very important to take the right decisions. But on the other hand, you have to have the near-term focus. You have to be clear, what do you have to deliver in 3 months, in 6 months, in 9 months, and in 12 months. And you have to concentrate and focus and make this happen. Yeah? So focus, concentration, and delivery. These are the main elements, and this is what I'm standing for.
I absolutely agree. I said that at the beginning. I believe that I said that actually on one of our company profiles about you. I said that in order for a company to be successful, you have to execute. I love that mindset. And that's what's going to make so attractive for people to potentially invest into Faraday Future. When you have a leader like yourself to be able to say, I'm not going to be all symbolism without substance. I'm not going to show you and promise you the world. And then you won't be able to hit that mark. You're going to be like, this is what our plans. We're going to take these small steps to be successful. And maybe something will happen and I'll surprise you. So I absolutely agree. So thank you so much, Carsten. I appreciate you jumping on and answering all these questions from not only myself, but my followers. And congratulations on your business approval, and good luck to the future.
Thanks a lot, and thanks for having me. Thank you.
Thank you so much.